Molly Davis, your host of the Untold Miracles podcast, and today I am so excited. We have a guest that her life is truly the definition of a miracle. She's a world-renowned speaker, ESPN on-air personality, model, actress, gold and silver medalist, and she's an alum of Dancing with the Stars. Victoria Arlen, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
You know, it truly is an honor to talk to you because I watched you compete on Dancing with the Stars, and that's where I first heard about your story. But for those listeners who have no idea how this miracle happened in your life, I'd like you to take us back when you were a healthy, athletic 11-year-old girl, just living your life normal, and then something crazy happens, and I've never heard a story like yours, so I'm so excited for you to share with our listeners what happened to you when you were 11.
So I developed two incredibly rare neurological conditions known as transverse myelitis and acute disseminated encephalomyelitis. But I basically, in a matter of 3 months, went from being a healthy 11-year-old girl to fighting for my life, and I lost the ability very quickly to eat, talk. Basically, I lost every function imaginable aside from my breathing and slipped into what is called a vegetative state, which means your body you have no more control of your body. And so at that point was pretty much written off as a lost cause. But I'm one of triplets, and so my parents, 23 years ago, were faced with a pretty big challenge and were not one to give up. And so my family refused to give up on me and decided that they were going to just keep fighting for me and believing in me. And what no one really realized was that I was completely aware. So I was what they call locked in. Mm-hmm. And so at that point, I realized, okay, this could get really, really scary really quickly, or I could, ultimately, I have to shift my perspective, because if I think negatively, I'll slip down a very slippery slope. And so I decided kind of on a whim to just focus on the things that I was grateful for. And I really just started to focus on, the fact that I wasn't dead. So that's a big win. And the fact that I had an amazing family, and I had medical care, and I had, clothing and clean sheets. And so I really every day just decided that, all right, I need to list the things that I'm grateful for. And so by doing that, it shifted my perspective, which ultimately created hope. And when you mix hope together with hard work, anything's really possible. And so, I, about 4 years later, started kind of emerging through the simplest forms of communication, which was blinking. And then from there, I just kind of slowly started to crawl back and come back to life.
Doctors said that they weren't hopeful at all. Pretty much they were telling your parents that you were going to be a vegetable.
Yeah.
What were your parents' thoughts during that time? Because you couldn't communicate. You couldn't even blink. You couldn't do anything during those 4 years. You were trapped inside your body. What were their thoughts? Did they just believe a miracle was coming?
They wanted to believe in something different. They accepted the diagnosis, but not the prognosis. And they decided that, we have to really believe that something greater is happening. And my parents have unshakable faith. My mom especially just has an unshakable faith. And so they prayed for a miracle.
And so was the first part of that miracle you just being able to blink, or how, can doctors even explain what happened, how you were able to regain everything that you'd lost?
Blinking was that miracle for sure. And then it just kind of kept going from there. But to this day, I go to doctors and they look at my chart and then look at me and they're like, you shouldn't be here. You shouldn't be alive, let alone talking and functioning.
Tell us about your experience at the Paralympics and how you got involved with that.
I started playing sled hockey when I first started coming back out of it. And I had been a swimmer before I got sick. And so it was actually my hockey coach that encouraged me to get back in the water. And so I just kind of had started swimming more for therapy purposes the summer of 2010, and then slowly kept going. And then, 2 years, I started getting faster, and then I got put into the Paralympic circuit and then ended up in London. To this day, it still kind of blows my mind, to be honest with you.
It's crazy. You competed in the 2012 Summer Games. I just don't know how your body went from not doing anything to be able to competing at a high level.
I don't know. We can use the word miracle again, but honestly, for me, I love the challenge. And so I found an incredible coach that in a matter of 6 months took me from being this average swimmer to this world record breaking swimmer. And he believed in me. He gave me a shot. He really wanted me to redefine what was possible. And so between my parents, my family, my therapist, everyone that just I kind of created this amazing team who just believed in me and believed that you don't just have to stop with one miracle. Multiple miracles happen every single day. You just have to keep your eyes out open for them.
Well, in April 2015, you made the transition from professional athlete to sportscaster, and you joined ESPN as one of their youngest on-air talents hired by the company. Were there any miracles involved with that?
Yes. The fact that I had no experience in television, and so I was job shadowing. I had been invited down after London, after the games, to do some appearances, and that's where I kind of discovered my love for television and for hosting. And so I was honestly job shadowing. I started job shadowing when I was 19, and at this point I was 20, and I was kind of told every reason how it wouldn't work out. You're too young, you have no experience, ESPN is the worldwide leader. ESPN is kind of like the Olympics. You don't just, jump straight to the Olympics. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you do, but very rarely. And I was just job shadowing. And then I met this incredible producer, and he was like, I want to give you a shot. And he gave me just this breakout role, ironically out here in LA at the Special Olympic World Games. And that was my role. That was kind of another blink, in a sense. That was another little miracle. And then that ultimately led to my next career.
Tell us about Project Walk and how you were able to bring that back to your own community.
So Project Walk was ultimately we realized about 5 years ago. I was really struggling with being in a wheelchair and dealing with a lot of adverse reactions. You're not meant to sit, unfortunately. And
were you paralyzed at that time when you were in a chair?
Yes, I was completely paralyzed up until about 2 years ago.
Wow.
From the waist down. And so I was told there was no hope that I would walk again. And my mom, being the human that she is, we decided to look for other options. And so we ended up at Project Walk out here in California and realized this was the answer. And there was such a need, but we couldn't be doing, back and forth with my family still back on the East Coast. And so we decided that kind of as not my parents, not only as a gift to me, but also as a gift to the community and other people going through similar situations, we wanted to bring the first Project Walk to the East Coast.
Another thing that I think is so incredible is when you competed on Dancing with the Stars just last season, you didn't have feeling in your legs, correct?
Nope, I haven't had feeling in my legs in 12 years.
So how is it that you were able to perform as flawlessly as you did without being able to even know where to place your foot? I just can't understand or wrap my head around how you were able to pull that off.
Well, in the words of my dance partner, my friend Val Churkowski, it's a miracle. Every day we would just laugh because we were like, this has never been done before. But honestly, everyone at Dancing with the Stars just believed in me and just gave me so much support and love. And Val, really, honestly, it comes down to Val. He took this impossible situation and made it possible. And we rehearsed 5-6 hours a day, 7 days a week. Mm-hmm. We didn't stop. We really put pedal to the metal. And he just taught me. And we did a lot of repetition. We had a lot of keywords. He would tap certain parts of my body to make sure, I'd be stepping on the right foot. And he just really, or be yelling random words out. But Val's an amazing dancer, but he's an amazing teacher and mentor, and someone that really makes you believe that the impossible is possible. And that's ultimately what he was able to do.
That's so incredible. And you did so great. You made it to the semifinals. I really think you should have won it, but you were just, I think you inspired, when people watched you, it's like, if she can do this, I can do anything. Tell me what it was like when they first reached out to you, and what were your immediate thoughts?
I was super stoked when they reached out. I've been a fan of the show for years since it first started, but I think it came down to the first day of rehearsals. I kind of freaked out when I got home. I called my mom and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I can't even feel my legs. And I had this meltdown, and she's like, okay, let's breathe for a second. And then, honestly, I love a challenge, and I realized that this would I'm going from literally a year and a half ago being completely paralyzed from the waist down, and only a year prior just getting off my leg braces and finally actually using my ankles to then go on Dancing with the Stars. I knew it was a huge undertaking for both my partner and myself, but I realized I was like, that's what it's all about. If we can just spread hope and spread light and spread love to just one person, then we've done our job.
Tell me what it was like when you were able to finally walk again for the first time in, what was it, 10 years?
10 years, yes. I was very tall, and I was no longer, staring at butts, which had been kind of my go-to position. But it was interesting. It was very weird. I think I was kind of taken aback by it a little bit. I was pretty shocked at first, but then realized I was like, okay, I just got to put one foot in front of the other. But I was really nervous. It was very scary for me. It was very painful at first and just foreign. I had been so used to rolling around in my chair, and then now I could just get up and have that freedom. It was pretty surreal.
So at Children's Miracle Network hospitals, we raise money for 170 children's hospitals across the country. We treat nearly 10 million kids. A lot of them go through much adversity. What advice would you give to those kids or anyone listening to this podcast about facing adversity?
For me, what facing adversity means is it's kind of like climbing a mountain. And it's tough. It hurts sometimes. There's avalanches. There's weather. But what I've always liked to say, and what's always kind of resonated with me, is keep climbing even when it hurts, because I promise you that the view is worth it, and the victory dance at the top of the mountain is way better than you could have ever expected. Just keep climbing, keep believing, and realize that there is a purpose for pain. And it's all kinds of pain. There is a purpose, and I can say that from someone who has been in some of the worst pain imaginable. I can look back and say there is a purpose for each and every pain that I've endured.
What do you hope people who hear about your story take away from knowing about your miracle?
I hope that people, obviously, if they don't believe in miracles, they believe in miracles after hearing my story. But also, I think just knowing that, trusting your journey, trusting the process. And when seems like you've hit rock bottom, don't stop climbing, don't stop moving forward or putting one foot in front of the other, because it really just takes one spark to light a fire to get you on that path to overcoming and being pain-free and being free ultimately.
Oh, that's so great. And where can people follow you?
They can follow me on Instagram and Twitter. It's at Arlen V1.
So Victoria, do you have a book out?
My book is coming out in August. My book is called Locked In.
Oh, wow. I'm so excited to read that. But I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to call in today. You truly are a living, walking miracle, and you are really showing the rest of us what's possible. I still am blown away with your courage and your determination and your tenacity while you're locked in your body, and you are just so grateful that you're alive. I mean, you're really teaching us how to show up better every day and live our life to the fullest. But I hope you have an amazing day, and I hope you continue to have a lot of miracles in your life, and we look forward to following you on ESPN and all the different adventures that you're on. But thanks again for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
On March 20th, visit a participating Dairy Queen to celebrate the first day of spring with their 4th annual Free Cone Day. Customers will receive a free small vanilla soft serve cone just for coming in, and donations will be accepted for Children's Miracle Network hospitals and your local children's hospital.